Have you ever noticed how men rarely say the words, "I miss you," but somehow you can feel it anyway? It's not what they say, it's what they do. And once you learn these subtle signs, you'll never have to wonder again if he's thinking about you late at night. Here's the truth. When a man misses you, it shows up in the small cracks of his behavior. It's the random text that says, "Hey, remember that time we..." It's not about the memory, it's about pulling you back into his world. It's the way he suddenly notices details about your life or asks questions he never used to ask. It's not always smooth. Sometimes he's inconsistent. One day he's warm, the next he's distant. That's because missing you makes him restless. His actions will reveal his feelings long before his words ever do. And if you want to know how to handle it when he comes back with this energy, stay with me, because knowing how to respond is just as important as recognizing the signs. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, does he even notice that I'm not there? Maybe you're in no contact, or maybe things just went cold, yet something inside keeps whispering, if he really misses me, then why does he act like I don't exist? Here's the truth most people never say out loud. Men don't always show emotions the way you expect them to. When a man misses you, he might not send long, heartfelt texts or cry in front of people online. Instead, he steps back, he watches quietly, he hesitates. And that silence is often louder than any words if you know how to read it. In this video, we're looking deeper than the surface. No fluff, no recycled advice. You're going to see exactly how men act when they miss a woman deeply, but don't know how to show it. You'll notice the subtle changes, the late night texts that feel random but carry meaning, the sudden way he views your stories after weeks of ignoring you, even how his absence itself can be the loudest "I miss you" he'll ever give. Because here's the secret, men miss in a different way, and once you really understand how and why, you'll stop doubting yourself and begin to see the truth behind each action. So, if you've been sitting there wondering, overthinking, or waiting for a sign, this is it. Let's uncover what he's truly doing when you're not around, and why his behavior may be saying everything his words cannot. Let's get into it. It's one of the biggest blind spots in dating. Many men don't realize what they had until space forces them to feel it. When a man has you close, when you're calling, texting, and spending time together, he gets used to it. He assumes you'll always be there, and in that comfort, he may start to take you for granted. Not always on purpose, but because of emotional habits. He hasn't yet felt your absence. But the second you pull away, when the calls stop, when the texts slow down, when your energy shifts, and he no longer feels your presence the same way, that's when it starts to hit him. And it doesn't usually happen instantly. Men process things through logic first and emotions second. So in the beginning, he might tell himself, "This is fine. I wanted space anyway, I'm good." But as time passes, a gap grows. And in that space, he begins to notice the little details. Your vibe, your voice, the way you made him feel understood without him even asking. That's when he starts missing you, not just for who you were, but for how he felt when he was near you. Emotional distance often brings emotional clarity. When you're no longer right there, he's left only with memories, and sometimes with regret. That's when he replays past conversations in his head. That's when your silence suddenly feels loud. That's when those texts he once ignored, he now looks back at and reads again. And that delay is real. Many men don't feel the loss right away. They feel it later, after the distance has already started. This is why many women feel confused, because he doesn't always show it instantly. But just because he doesn't chase right away doesn't mean he isn't affected. Sometimes distance is the very thing that makes desire visible. Not because you weren't valuable before, but because he never slowed down enough to notice. And when you're no longer in his world the way you were, he starts to feel that difference. That feeling is the start of missing you. Sometimes the strongest "I miss you" is never spoken. It's hidden in the quiet. It's in the pauses, the hesitation, and the moments where you still feel his energy, even when he's nowhere around. When a man is thinking of you, but not reaching out, it's so easy to believe he's moved on. But the truth is, thinking and acting are not the same. Many men don't act right away. They stall, they sit in their thoughts longer than you expect. One of the first quiet signs is his digital presence. He may not text, but suddenly he's watching your stories again. Maybe he doesn't press like on anything, but he's still viewing quietly, consistently. That's not random. That's curiosity mixed with hesitation. He wants to feel some kind of connection without risking the step of reaching out. It's a controlled way of being vulnerable. Then comes the almost contact. He might start typing and then delete the message. You see the notification, then it disappears. Or he sends something short and random out of context just to test the waters. That simple "hey" or "did you see this" isn't about the words. It's about reopening the door. He's thinking of you. He just doesn't know how to fully say it. Another subtle sign is when mutual friends start checking in more. Sometimes he asks about you through them, or maybe he posts something that feels aimed at you. A song, a quote, a picture that only the two of you would understand. That's emotional projection. It's quiet, but it's not accidental. Then there's the shift in energy. You suddenly feel him in your thoughts again. That isn't always imagined. Sometimes when someone's energy is on you, you sense it, especially if your bond had real depth. These signals may look small, but they're real. When a man is thinking of you in silence, it's not usually because he doesn't care. It's because he doesn't yet know how to handle those emotions. So if you notice these quiet clues, trust your gut. He may not be speaking, but his thoughts are probably louder than ever. Texting might seem simple, just words on a screen. But when a man misses you, his texting style often reveals what he's afraid to say out loud. It's not just about if he messages. It's about how, when, and why he does it. That's what shows the truth. Let's start with inconsistency. One moment he sends something random, the next he disappears for days. That push-pull isn't just bad habits, it's emotional conflict. He's trying to balance missing you with not wanting to look weak. So he reaches out when the missing gets too strong, but then he pulls back when it feels overwhelming. That inconsistency is often his ego battling his heart. Then there are the late night messages. If he texts you when he's alone, tired, or maybe after a night out, that's not by chance. Those are the moments when his walls are down and his true feelings sneak through. When the day's distractions are gone, guess what stays? You. Another sign is texts that don't seem to have much purpose. He'll write, "Hey," or "What's up?" with no clear reason. It's not about deep conversation. It's about closeness. He wants to feel near you again, but doesn't know how to rebuild what was lost. So he throws out a simple line, hoping you'll respond. You might also notice delays in his replies, not because he doesn't care, but because he does. He overthinks how to answer. He rereads what you wrote. He types, deletes, types again. That overthinking shows he's emotionally involved, even if he won't admit it. And watch the timing of it all. Does he message you after seeing something you posted, especially after you've been quiet for a few days? Those moments are emotional triggers. They show that something you did or didn't do made him feel your absence again. So no, texting isn't always casual. It can be a sign of where his mind and heart really are. If you learn to read between the lines, you'll see it. He might not type, "I miss you," but his thumbs often say it for him. Social media can feel like surface noise, photos, memes, stories. But when a man misses you, it turns into one of his safest ways to show how he feels without actually reaching out. Most men won't slide into your DMs with "I miss you" at first. That kind of honesty feels too exposed. But watch his feed. He may post more often, suddenly share song lyrics, old photos, gym shots, or vague captions. That's rarely random. Indirect posts are one of the most missed clues. He'll share a quote about missing someone, about timing, or about growing, stuff that looks general to everyone else. But to you, it lands differently because you know his history. That's emotional targeting. You'll also notice him quietly watching everything you put up, but never interacting. No likes, no comments, just views. Every time you drop a story, he's there early. That's not passive, it's presence without pressure. Sometimes he posts late at night or links a heavy song. That's a peek into his inner world. Men often use social platforms as a way to ventilate, not to chase public attention, but to get your attention without opening themselves up. Then there's the proximity move, engaging with your mutual friends, liking their posts, dropping comments on their photos. It's subtle and strategic. He's orbiting your world without stepping on your space. So before you dismiss social media as meaningless, remember this: online behavior is emotional behavior in disguise, especially for someone who isn't ready to speak honestly. When a man is missing you but can't say it, his feed often becomes his diary. You just have to learn how to read it. Here's the frustrating part: he may miss you deeply and still keep quiet. That doesn't mean you're imagining things. Some men feel strongly and still choose silence. Why? Because admitting they miss you means admitting vulnerability, and many were never taught how to be vulnerable. Society teaches men to be controlled and logical, to hide emotions. So even while their chest tightens and memories flood in, they push those feelings down. They fear rejection, fear looking weak, fear losing control. Instead of reaching out, they bury the feelings under busyness, going out more, posting like everything's great, or even seeing someone else. Often that moving on is a performance, not real peace. You might see him avoid places you used to go or people you both knew. That's not lack of interest. It's a form of protection. Being where old memories live is painful, so he keeps away. Sometimes he acts cold on purpose. If you run into him, replies are short, surface level, or he pretends the connection never mattered. But often that coldness is a mask. People who act like they feel nothing are sometimes trying to feel less. Men who miss you but won't admit it are usually blocked, not empty. The feelings exist. They just don't know how to handle them. They fear that opening the door a little will make all the locked up emotion rush in. So if his actions seem distant but your gut says otherwise, trust your instincts. His silence can speak louder than his words. Let's be real about emotional suppression. Many men grow up with a quiet rule: don't show pain, don't talk about feelings, don't be weak. Whether from family, peers, or media, the message is clear: emotions are dangerous. So when a man misses you, he often distracts himself. He buries the ache in work, workouts, games, or casual dating. It's not always about being over you. It's about not wanting to feel. But hidden feelings don't vanish. They redirect. That tension comes out as irritability, distance, numbness, or weird mood swings. He may spiral in ways he doesn't understand because he doesn't have tools to process the loss. That's why some men seem fine at first and then reach out weeks or months later. Initially, they convince themselves they're okay, but over time, the feelings creep back in. A song, a place, or a memory can open the floodgates, and suddenly he's right back in it, unsure how to cope. This isn't an excuse, it's an explanation. Understanding this doesn't mean you should wait forever. It means stop taking his silence personally. Sometimes he's not ignoring you, he's ignoring what's inside himself. After months of distance, he may make contact again. It might be casual: "Hey, how have you been?" Or late night: "I was thinking of you." Maybe it's a meme or a song that reminds him of you. Your heart jumps, and you wonder, is this it? Is he finally realizing what he lost? Maybe. But slow down and look closer. When a man reaches out again, it isn't always about the words. It's about why he's saying them. Is he lonely, seeking comfort, wanting to ease his guilt, hoping to get back what he lost? Or is he simply missing the idea of you more than the real connection? Watch for patterns, timing, and consistency. The motive behind the message matters more than the message itself. Now, first understand this: reaching out doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's guilt, and sometimes it's him testing the waters, checking if you're still emotionally available. Because when a man misses you but hasn't done the inner work, he rarely comes back with clarity. He comes back out of impulse. One of the strongest signs that he truly misses you is emotional openness. If his message shows awareness of his silence, of what happened and how he feels, that's a man who's been reflecting. That's not the same as someone who just sends "I miss you" because he's lonely at 2 a.m. One comes with intention, the other with convenience. Notice the timing and pattern. Does he only reach out after seeing you post something online, or when you've gone quiet? Is this the first time in weeks, or the fourth time in a cycle of hot and cold? Men who genuinely miss you don't breadcrumb, they speak with consistency. Also, Listen to the tone. Is he present, engaged, asking questions that show he still values the connection? Or is he throwing one-liners, hoping you'll carry the emotional weight? A true reconnection feels thoughtful, not lazy. But here's what most people miss. Sometimes his reaching out isn't about you at all. It's about him soothing his guilt, testing his importance, or checking if he still has access to you. That's not love, that's ego. So before you respond, ask yourself, which version of him is reaching out right now? The one who has grown and is ready to reconnect with honesty? Or the one who's still uncertain, hoping you'll make him feel whole again? You don't have to be harsh, but you must be clear. Because when someone reappears, you're not just deciding whether to reply, you're deciding whether to reopen your peace to a presence that once disturbed it. Reaching out is simple, but showing growth and emotional clarity is rare, and that's what you deserve. Let's be real. He's reaching out. He acts distant, then warm. He watches your stories, likes your photos, sends the occasional "thinking of you" text, and now you're caught in that emotional in-between. Does he really miss me, or is he just playing? The truth is, not every man who returns is sincere. Missing you and valuing you are not the same. Just because someone feels your absence doesn't mean they're ready to treat you differently in your presence. One of the biggest warning signs is inconsistency. If his actions don't match his words, that's not missing you, that's keeping access. He might say he's been thinking about you, but if he doesn't make time for a real connection, he's not missing you. He's missing the way you made him feel. And notice the patterns. If this isn't the first time he's left and come back, you're not being missed, you're being recycled. Some men use missing you as a way to restart the dynamic. Not because they've grown, but because they hate losing control. That's not love, that's ego maintenance. Another sign he's playing is emotional highs and lows. One day he's warm, regretful, nostalgic, telling you he wishes things had gone differently. The next he's cold, distracted, or gone again. That roller coaster isn't confusion, it's control. It keeps you hooked emotionally without him needing to commit. On the other hand, if a man truly misses you, you'll feel the difference. He'll be direct, steady, clear. He won't make you guess. There will be accountability, not vague texts or half-effort gestures. He'll admit what happened, state what he wants, and most importantly, follow through. So how do you know which one you're facing? Ask yourself, do I feel more calm or more anxious when he reaches out? Your body always knows. If you're always waiting for his next move, trying to decode his behavior, or questioning your worth, he's not missing you, he's managing you. Real love doesn't play hide and seek. When someone truly values you, they won't risk losing you again just to protect their pride. Yes, he may miss you, but if he's not showing up with clarity, steadiness, and emotional maturity, then he's not ready, and your heart isn't a game. Trust what you see, pay attention to how you feel, and remember, it's not your job to prove your worth to someone who only notices it when you're gone. When he finally reaches out, it can trigger a storm of emotions: hope, excitement, fear, confusion. You might feel torn between wanting to respond and protecting yourself. So how do you reply without losing yourself? First, remember this: your response reflects your self-respect, not his actions. You don't owe him instant access to your time or feelings just because he sent a message. Pause before you reply. Breathe. Center yourself. Ask, am I replying from calm or from longing? Your peace is your strength. Next, set boundaries in your mind and your words. If you're unsure what you want, don't be afraid to say so. You can reply with kindness and honesty while still protecting your emotional health. For example, I appreciate you reaching out. I'm in a different place now, and I want to be clear about what I'm comfortable with. That sets the tone. You're open, but not desperate. It's also okay to take your time. You don't have to jump into deep talks right away. Watch his consistency, his respect for your limits, and the effort he puts into meaningful connection. If he's sincere, he'll show it, not just say it. Be mindful of your emotional energy. If replying to him drains you, reopens old wounds, or leaves you more confused, it's okay to pause or step back. Protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. And don't forget, your worth is not tied to his attention. You are already whole, already valuable, with or without his validation. So reply in a way that honors you first. Your time, love, and energy should be met with respect. At the end of the day, how you respond is about taking back your power, not about winning him back or fixing the past. When you hold that space for yourself, you naturally attract people who value you for exactly who you are. As we close, remember this: missing someone is a deeply human experience. It's messy, it's layered, and it often leaves us exposed in ways we didn't expect. Whether he shows it openly or hides it, whether he admits it or not, emotions don't always follow the story we want them to. What matters most is how you handle those feelings, yours and his. Now, first understand this: reaching out doesn't always mean making peace. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's guilt, and sometimes it's him testing the waters, checking if you're still emotionally available. Because when a man misses you but hasn't done the inner work, he won't usually return with clarity. He comes back on impulse. One of the clearest signs that he truly misses you is emotional openness. If his message admits his silence, what happened, and how he feels, that's a man who has been reflecting. That's not the same as a man who just writes, "I miss you," because he's lonely at 2 a.m. One comes with intention, the other with convenience. Also, pay attention to timing and patterns. Does he only message after seeing you post something or when you've gone quiet? Is this the first time in weeks or the fourth time in a cycle of hot and cold? Men who miss you with maturity don't breadcrumb. They reach out with consistency. And then there's the tone. Is he engaged, asking questions that show he still cares about the connection? Or is he tossing short lines, hoping you'll carry the emotional weight? A true reconnection feels thoughtful, not lazy. But here's what many people overlook. Sometimes his reaching out isn't about you. It's about him easing his guilt, testing if he still matters, or checking if he has access to you. That's not love, that's ego. So before you reply, ask yourself which version of him is contacting you right now. The one who has grown and wants to reconnect with honesty, or the one still unsure, hoping you'll fill his emptiness. You don't need to be harsh, but you do need to be clear. Because when someone reappears, you're not only deciding whether to answer, you're deciding if you'll let back into your peace someone who once disturbed it. Reaching out is easy, but staying, growing, and showing up with emotional clarity, that's rare, that's real, and that's what you deserve. Now let's be honest, he's reaching out. One moment he's distant, then he's warm. He watches your stories, likes your photos, sends the random thinking of you text, and suddenly you're stuck in that uncertain place. Does he really miss me, or is this just a game? Here's the truth. Not every man who reappears is genuine. Missing you and valuing you are two different things. Just because someone feels your absence doesn't mean they're ready to treat you better when you're present. One of the biggest warning signs is inconsistency. If his actions don't match his words, that's not missing you, that's maintaining access. He may say he's been thinking about you, but if he doesn't create time for a meaningful connection, he's not missing you, he's missing the way you made him feel.